Princess Beatrice and her husband, Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi, fell for each other hard and fast. But why was Queen Elizabeth so reluctant to approve the match? Before Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi came onto the scene as a romantic interest of Princess Beatrice, the princess was in a decade-long relationship with Dave Clark. As noted by the Daily Beast, Clark came with his own impressive lineage. His father was a corporate banker, and he worked in finance with some of the biggest companies out there, such as Virgin Galactic and Uber. He certainly seemed to be someone that a royal would find appropriate, and the length of their relationship indicated that Clark and Beatrice were in it for the long haul. When Uber relocated Clark to New York, Beatrice even went with him, starting a career in investment banking as a result. But like many good things, Beatrice's relationship with Clark came to an end after 10 years of dating. As an insider told the Daily Beast, some saw the split as just a bump in the road, but others were convinced that the two were set on going their separate ways. As it turns out, Beatrice reportedly gave Clark an ultimatum: propose or leave. It seems he chose the latter. Princess Beatrice wasn't the only person in her newfound relationship to have a long history with an ex. While she and Dave Clark had been together for a decade, Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi was previously engaged to an American architect, Dara Huang, who comes with her own impressive resume. As noted by the Daily Mail, the US-born architect has a graduate degree from Harvard and has worked all across the European continent. Huang also runs Design House Liberty, turning once commercial locations into habitable living spaces. She and Mapelli Mozzi met in 2015 and got engaged in 2017. So things were clearly going well for the two at one point. But as Beatrice and Clark came to an end, so did Mapelli Mozzi and Huang. The kicker in their story, however, is that while engaged, they welcomed a son together, who goes by the nickname Wolfie. As such, Beatrice took on a new role when she and Mapelli Mozzi started dating. And Huang even moved to London because she and Mapelli Mozzi have joint custody of their son. Though her life in the city is very different from the traveling lifestyle she's used to, as a source told the Daily Mail, the two exes have clearly tried to make their relationship as co-parents work. As it turns out, Mapelli Mozzi and Beatrice had a lot of friends in common prior to their union. And a royal source confirmed to Express that Beatrice and Mapelli Mozzi did indeed meet through a mutual acquaintance. Reportedly, once the pair were introduced, they seemed to have an instant connection. The source went on to reveal that Beatrice introduced Mapelli Mozzi to Fergie and Andrew shortly into their relationship, and they even had a mini vacation together. In the typical fashion for royal relationships, the two had been together for several months before making their public debut. They chose to do it at a fairly laid-back gala at the National Portrait Gallery in 2019. And the reveal was met with surprisingly little scrutiny compared to other contemporary royal debuts.
The UK media are notorious for doing whatever they can to guess a story.
While the two certainly looked happy together during their first public appearance, the beginning of their relationship wasn't all sunshine and rainbows when it came to the royal family's perspective on the union. As Vogue pointed out, Queen Elizabeth had her reservations about the partnership, and reportedly would not allow Mapelli Mozzi to enter the palace after learning that he had lived with his ex, Dara Huang, and had a child out of wedlock. Despite the Queen's apparent reservations about Princess Beatrice's relationship with Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi, the two forged ahead with their romance. Just months after making their debut, the couple got engaged. As noted by the BBC at the time, the engaged couple made a statement through the palace, noting how thrilled they were to start their new lives together, writing, "We are both so excited to be embarking on this life adventure together. We share so many similar interests and values, and we know that this will stand us in great stead for the years ahead, full of love and happiness." According to Harper's Bazaar, Mapelli Mozzi popped the question while he and Beatrice were vacationing in Italy. Romance was certainly in the air, as they had attended a wedding in Rome on the same vacation. It seems that the old saying, "when you know," rang especially true for the new royal couple, as they'd been together for only a fraction of the time Beatrice dated Dave Clark before deciding to tie the knot. With the onset of COVID-19 in early 2020, many events were postponed or canceled. According to People, Beatrice and Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi had grand wedding plans just like any other royal couple that came before them. But amid the pandemic and the strict lockdown protocols enacted in Britain, the couple formally canceled their royal wedding. It had initially been scheduled for May 29, 2020. A spokesperson for the couple told People, "There are no plans to switch venues or hold a bigger wedding. They aren't even thinking about their wedding at this time. There will come a time to rearrange, but that's not yet." In fact, the outlet confirmed that Beatrice and Mapelli Mozzi never even mailed out their wedding invitations because of the pandemic. There are certainly many brides out there that can empathize with having to change or completely discard wedding plans due to COVID. Despite the lonely and unpredictable state the world was in at the time, Princess Beatrice and Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi decided to forge ahead with their nuptials with a very small-scale wedding. As noted by Hello magazine, Beatrice and Mapelli Mozzi tied the knot in July 2020, just 2 months after their wedding was initially scheduled, in a gorgeous ceremony at the Royal Lodge at Windsor with just a few people in attendance. Queen Elizabeth did come around and give her consent, and the socially distanced ceremony was held at the Royal Chapel of All Saints. Beatrice looked absolutely stunning on her wedding day, wearing a vintage Norman Hartnell gown that belonged to the Queen. It was altered to fit the bride on her big day by the Queen's royal dresser, Angela Kelly, and dressmaker, Stuart Parvin. The gown was made with the finest ivory taffeta and adorned with organza sleeves. Topping off her look was, of course, a tiara on loan from the Queen.
When we found out that she'd pulled off this secret wedding, the editors and I were saying, please let her have worn a tiara.
Only a small selection of the bride and groom's family attended the affair. Mapelli Mozzi's young son, Wolfie, served as the couple's best man. Less than a year after tying the knot, Beatrice and Eduardo announced that they were expecting their first child together. As noted by Ola, their little one was in line to become the 12th of Queen Elizabeth's great-grandchildren, following little Lilibet, who was born to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. While Beatrice was on her way to becoming a mom for the first time, she did have a little bit of practice. The princess was already a bustling stepmom to little Wolfie, and she even reflected on what that role meant to her in a column for the Evening Standard. While writing about the importance of reading for World Book Day in 2021, Beatrice wrote that being a stepmom was one of the biggest joys of her life. She wrote, "This year, I had the great honor to become a stepmother and have had the most remarkable time going back over some of my most favorite stories at bedtime. Together, we had such a special time reading through all the entries for the Oscars Book Prize 2020. She reflected that she drew particular inspiration from that year's winning book, Tad by Benji Davies. After announcing their exciting news in May 2021, Princess Beatrice and Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi welcomed their little bundle of joy in September, making an official statement through the royal website to proclaim the news. The announcement stated that the baby was born late on Saturday, September 18, 2021, at London's Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. The announcement also assured the baby was healthy and thanked the staff at the hospital for their excellent care for Beatrice and her newborn. In a move that surprised many, Beatrice and Mapelli Mozzi refrained from announcing their daughter's name for quite a while. It took another month or so to finally let royal watchers know that they had named their little girl Sienna Elizabeth Mapelli Mozzi. In another statement posted on the royal family's Twitter account in October, the couple said they were all feeling great and that Wolfie and Sienna were becoming fast friends. The world was rocked when Queen Elizabeth II passed away on September 8, 2022. Having been on the throne for 7 decades, Elizabeth was the only monarch that most of the British public knew. While she was certainly mourned as a public figure, her very large family also mourned the significant loss of their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. Of those who were visibly upset during her funeral, Princess Beatrice was clearly shaken while mourning the loss. And right beside her, as a comforting presence, was her husband, Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi. Speaking to Hello Magazine about their dynamic, body language expert Tina Wingman broke down the day in question and the relationship between the two. She explained how he managed to provide support for his wife without even the use of physical contact. Wingman stated he mirrored her body language and comforted her with strong eye contact whilst gauging his wife's feelings. He appeared to be attentive and caring from the sidelines, a pillar of strength for his wife and remaining by her side throughout. While their marriage is still fairly young, it seems that the bond between the young royals is reliably solid. Having already withstood such overwhelming joys and losses in the years they've been together, Eduardo and Beatrice seem to be taking on the very public challenges of their station with strength and grace.